Hello and welcome back to Seagulls Central. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. And if you've been here before, welcome back. It's so good to have you back. And thank you so much for clicking on this video here. We've got some massive breaking news in the last couple of hours around the future of Pervis Estupiñán and where his future lies. Now, I think we're all kind of potentially prepared for the fact that Pervis Estupiñán might be one of the players that this summer, as Brighton fans, we're prepared to lose. Obviously, João Pedro on his way out. He's gone. Simon Odingra is also gone. I think I said in a video a few weeks ago that it felt like Pervis Estupiñán's future might have been elsewhere beyond this summer transfer window, with him giving those quotes around wanting to move on to a next challenge. And we spoke about Man United. Well, in the last few hours this evening, we've had a story break from talkSPORT, Alex Crook alongside Ben Jacobs reporting on the future of Pervis Estupiñán. And I think this is one of those where we've all kind of known that there's something going on around Pervis Estupiñán and Man United. And whilst what I'm about to read out isn't some massive bomber, I think what it is, it's that kind of formalisation of the reports that all journalists, lots of people in the football scene have known, that Man United are probably going to make a formal approach for Pervis Estupiñán in the coming weeks. Here's the tweet from Alex Crook and the report alongside him and Ben Jacobs, those two working a lot, very closely this summer on a lot of their reporting. And I think Ben Jacobs particularly doing some brilliant work, obviously, alongside Alex Crook. So this is the tweet. Man United and AC Milan are interested in signing Brighton defender Pervis Estupiñán. Brighton are likely going to be open to offers for Estupiñán, having already strengthened at left-back with Maxim De Cuyper, exclusive for talkSPORT with Ben Jacobs. So, whilst we kind of might read that and go like, okay, that's maybe a little bit of much of nothing, I do feel like it's quite interesting this report is now being kind of formalised. Man United, from their perspective, left-back's been a bit of a weird position for them. Obviously, signing Luke Shaw all those years ago, when he was like 18 years old for 30 million quid. But he's been a player in recent years who's not been really being able to nail down that side. They've obviously got, is that Harry Amas as well? They've got Dorgu as well. They've got their fair share of left-backs. But I do think they're looking for an elite Premier League experienced left-back, and I think Pervis Estupiñán would be perfect in that role. So from a Brighton perspective, what do we think? What's going to happen here? My opinion is, I think this move will happen. I think Pervis Estupiñán will leave Brighton this summer transfer window. The question on my lips, the question I think within the Brighton community is, where is he going to go? AC Milan's an interesting one as well. It's one of those moves we've not heard about rumbled on too much so far in the window, but I think it is one that Pervis Estupiñán would feel very interested in going to. He's spoken about wanting to go to a big European side who are playing in Europe, and now at 28, 29 years old, it's a move that he wants to make. You got to think, I remember, we signed Pervis Estupiñán at 24. We got some of his best years, but really now he's going into the prime of his career. And I think if you're a Brighton fan, you kind of maybe feel like if you've got a great player, you're probably going to have them for 2 seasons. I think with Pervis Estupiñán, maybe not a great player, but a very, very, very good European footballer. And playing at left-back, a role which I think a decent left-back at the moment is quite hard to come by in the market. Similarly, he can probably play in a back 3 as well. We've seen him play as a centre-half in a back 3. He's quite a versatile player. And with that Premier League experience, I think he's a really attractive proposition. Now, I think from a Brighton perspective, we got to ask ourselves the question, is this a good deal for us? What kind of price would be a good deal for Pervis Estupiñán? Obviously, in recent years, he's been a brilliant player. A couple of seasons ago, there's nothing quite like that kind of Mitoma and Pervis Estupiñán partnership that we've seen. The way those two link up, him under the first season of Zerbi, even in the Europa League last season, obviously, a couple of seasons ago, obviously, he had those injuries, never quite came back the best. But the first part of that season, it looked really good as well. For me, I think last season he was pretty decent. However, I do think we haven't seen the absolute best of Pervis Estupiñán ever since he had that injury. I remember watching him at Ajax away, come on in the second half and then go off about 10-15 minutes later after having been out injured for so long. And I just feel like we've never quite seen the best of him since then. For me, what would be a good deal? For a 28, 29-year-old, I would like somewhere around like the 40 million mark. I personally think Brighton would sell for around 30 million if someone came in at that kind of price. Simply for the fact he probably is a defender. It's not like it's not like a wonder kid. It's not someone who's tearing the league apart. It's not someone who scores loads of goals, loads of assists. And actually, I think, does he only have 1, maybe 2 years left on his deal? His contract situation for Brighton isn't the most favourable. So perhaps kind of 30 million would do it. I think if you're Man United, that's a deal that screams like you've got to go and get it. Don't you think? 30 million quid for a proven Premier League left back, someone who can get up and down, who can score goals, who can get assists. What are Brighton losing? Well, I think, to be honest, Brighton would be losing an all-round kind of player in Pervis Estupiñán, someone who is a decent defender. I think he gets slated a little bit too much for his defending. I think that's been something that's been overhyped a little bit. I think he's a very solid defender. I think I've seen some fantastic defensive performances from him, particularly in the last kind of 2 years or so. I think attacking, the way he links up with Mitoma is brilliant. The way he gets forward into the box. Okay, he's not like a kind of geezer who pops up in the box with goals and maybe the way that you see or we've seen in the highlights from someone like Maxim De Cuyper. But what he is a player who's really good at building attacks. A player who can link up so well with his winger, get inside, get outside, passing excellently, very crisp with his crossing and passing. A player who Brighton will miss, and it seems like with Maxim De Cuyper, obviously that's Brighton preempting the kind of the left-hand side exodus. Maybe even it's just preempting the kind of Valentin Barco exit, and maybe we need to just strengthen generally. Where does it leave us? I suppose, do Brighton then need to go out and get another fullback? I think they probably do, and I don't necessarily think it has to be a left-back. I think Brighton just need maybe one more fullback. I think even now they need one more fullback. If you think, say we're going to start the season tomorrow, Estupiñán, De Cuyper on the left-hand side, Veltman on the right-hand side, Hinshelwood, Kadioglu, Tasker. It's like we've got these players, but we don't really know who the kind of the right back is. In the same way that on the left-hand side you have a left back, you have the left wing back. Do we need maybe a right-back signing? And I think maybe if we let Pervis Estupiñán go and we're only then relying on Maxim De Cuyper, are we then going to see Jack Hinshelwood playing like at left-back, or Hinshelwood going to left-back, or Task going to left-back? And then, or Kadioglu, maybe Hürzeler really does think that Kadioglu is that left wing-back. And I think maybe it will be between him and De Cuyper fighting out for that. But then where does that leave our right-hand side? I feel like irrespective of this deal, I felt like we need to maybe go and get one more fullback, probably a right-sided fullback. Maybe the club think that players can step up. Maybe Jack Hinshelwood is viewed as a right-back. I'd be interested to know that. Maybe Tasker will step up this pre-season as I kind of have a feeling he will. But whether you can trust someone to go into a Premier League side straight away is a risk. Do they need to go out and strengthen generally? So if Brighton do let Pervis Estupiñán go, where does this leave us? Do we need to go and strengthen? I would suggest we probably do. My wager would be that I don't think it would though have to be a left-hand sided defender in particular. Look, Brighton, if we lose Pervis Estupiñán, losing a great player, a player who's brought brilliant memories. And as I said before in the video, I don't think this will be a situation where the player's making it toxic, they're angling a move and it gets all a bit nasty and difficult. I don't think it's going to be like that, but I do think this interest from Man United's been there for a while, from what I've kind of heard, but also from now what the reporting's officially kind of saying through Alex Crook and Ben Jacobs. Interesting, the AC Milan element of that as well. I think we probably will see him go. I don't think it's going to take massive money to get him out either. I think if you kind of chuck 25-30 million pounds Brighton's way, maybe that would get him out of Brighton. Am I being a bit low there? Maybe it would take a little bit more for a very, very good left-hand sided defender in a Premier League who's Premier League proven and with experience. I don't know. How this move's going to rumble on, I'm not sure. The only thing I'd say is that I guess Man United this summer transfer window, very slow to move, very slow to do anything. Reported interest in Brian and Buemo, that's kind of not really going anywhere. They're very reluctant to just pay 60 million quid, as is widely reported. I think the fans are getting very frustrated around their lack of action this transfer window. So really, are they going to go and just get the deal done for Pervis Estupiñán? I'd say probably not. This might be one that kind of ekes into the latter stage of the window. This AC Milan new link is interesting. And I would suspect in the next couple of weeks this whole story might escalate a little bit, and I think we might get a bit more concrete reporting on the future of Pervis Estupiñán. It's looking unlikely he's going to stay at the club, would be my bet. Here, if you've made it this far in the video, please drop a like, drop a comment, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out more than you know. 67%, we've got it down from 73 to 67% of people who generally watch this channel on a regular basis are not subscribed to the channel. And it was 73%, it's now down to 67, which is a lot better. So it shows that lots of people are, please, helping me out by subscribing to the channel. It's massively, massively appreciated. If you have enjoyed this video, do hit the subscribe button. It means a lot. Hit a like, get in the comments, let me know. Should Pervis Estupiñán, should Brighton do everything they can to keep Pervis Estupiñán? Is his future away from the Albion? Sum him up as a player for us. Do you think he's been overhyped, underhyped? Do you think the season that he's just had has been as bad as people have made out? When was his best season? What would Man United or AC Milan be getting? And do you think Brighton are well placed enough to replace him should we lose him in the coming weeks and months, the final, 6 weeks left of the transfer window? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it. We will continue the conversation in the coming days, no doubt, when we have a big story landing on our desk in a few days' time. We've got a pre-season friendly to talk about on Wednesday, which is going to be great to get our teeth stuck into. So thank you very much for watching, and as always, up the Albion.